was fucking awesome.
I love it.
I love Cass. Absolutely love Cass.
All right. I'm Jess, one of your lovely hosts for Ramblings of the Mad. We have our two other co hosts here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Hi, I'm Ellie.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Welcome, welcome to our second episode of Ramblings of the Mad, where things are going to get a little bit nuts. I don't have my script in front of me here, so I'm just kind of ad libbing as I go, like usual.
Wait a minute.
'cause,
Wait. We're supposed to have a script?
Listen, I always have a script. What are you talking about?
And it's going to be complete chaos. By the way, I took your suggestion, and now I'm drinking out of this cup.
Yes.
There we go.
So
Yes.
it's a little bulky.
Cheers.
We all need to find like a really wonky cup that we can drink out of.
Yes, we do.
You really want to
We
let me do that?
absolutely do.
Yes.
We should get like 3 different styled, really fucking crazy mugs.
I agree with that. Spencer's is a good spot to look for really cool, wonky cups.
Yes. You know, I'm only 3 hours from Vegas. I could always take a day trip and get us some really fucked up cups.
Do it. Do it.
I mean, all it takes is knowing someone who has like, sublimation or something. Actually, I have the perfect tumbler. It looks like a mandala, but it's all done in swear words.
Nice.
That used to be my Monday meeting cup.
Your Monday meeting cup. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
realized...
Because my work bestie, she knew what it was, and so when I would go, she would just send me, put it down. No.
I just realized I don't have any of my Discord muted, so I need to do that right now.
Fair enough.
I did that one already.
I forget to do it because I don't think about it, and then
oh no,
when I need it to be quiet, it's like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, ah.
I never take it for granted because well, I call him my adopted son because I didn't give birth to him, but I will take this boy all day, every day. He is an amazing, amazing young man. When he starts messaging our group chat, it's bing, 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 bing for like 5 minutes.
That's too much. That's too much.
I'm like, you are lucky you are cute.
So I guess I'll kick off, seeing as you don't have a script, Jess.
I got distracted.
No, that's fine. We're just going all off on chaos right now.
Well, my captioning software decided to get all fucked up, so it's like vibrating as it's recording voices and not doing anything else with it. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Okay, well, while you're figuring that out, I'll go ahead and kick it off. So, in this live here, we're doing an extended version of our core podcast, which is Ramblings of the Mad. It's going to consist of a political or news social topic. Each of us is going to share one, and then we're going to have a roundtable discussion, and then move on to the next social or news political thing. After we've all shared our news segments, we will go then to a personal rant of our choosing, and then end on a comedic note, kind of like we did in the other one, but this is an extended version of that. I think it's going to be fun because I think we've all picked a very interesting topics. For sure.
And I think we're spread out enough too, so
absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. We're pretty spread out in the topics that we're going to talk about today. And I figured out what was going on with my captioning software.
What happened?
I was logged in on the back end for Twitch and for YouTube live stream, and it's capturing the voices even though it's muted.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
So I closed out the back end. So moderators, please pay attention.
Noted.
I'm not on our YouTube, so if things go
I
a little
am.
bit wild on YouTube,
I'm on
I
both.
am. Yep, I am too.
Nice.
Already one step ahead of you there, Jess.
I have one
I
on the
love
right,
you
one on the
guys.
left, and then y'all are in the middle.
I need another screen that goes on this side so I could be like one on each screen.
I have 2 monitors, and I need like 2 more.
How about like 5 more? Like one up top, one vertical. Like
I have 3 monitors, and one is split into 2. I changed it from landscape to portrait, and it's split into 2 monitors.
Yeah, I definitely need a 3rd monitor just for coding, because then it's just you flip it vertical and you have just all your code.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because doing it horizontal is such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass.
All right, Jess, you ready to open up with your news segment, political rant?
My new segment, political rant. All right,
bring it.
So the big thing going on right now on TikTok specifically is the article on Wired from Taylor Lorenz about dark money paying leftist and progressive content creators for content. All right. And it is everywhere. And it has me fuming. Absolutely fuming because it's absolute bullshit. So I'm just going to dive into what I wrote because this is how I operate.
Do it.
So here's the game. The article paints this big dramatic picture, shady nonprofits secretly cutting influencers' checks, gag orders, hush hush deals, like some kind of fucking spy thriller. All right. I mean, it sounds wild, right? Except when you actually look at what Taylor is selling. There's no meat on the bone, no receipts, no real evidence, just speculation dressed up like investigative journalism. And let's not kid ourselves. This isn't neutral reporting. This is Taylor Lorenz doing what Taylor always does, which is stirring the pot under the banner of purity politics. Now, remember, she's the same one who openly bragged about never Kamala because Kamala wasn't pure enough for her taste. And that's the cult of moral superiority she thrives in. And here's the thing, she can afford to do that. She lives in a blue state. Her rights aren't under immediate assault, and she has the luxury of grandstanding as a white woman. Meanwhile, people in swing states and red states, they're fighting tooth and nail against actual fascists taking over school boards, legislatures, all of it. But Taylor? She gets to sit comfortably behind her keyboard and undermine trust in Democrats and call it journalism. This is exactly how the left eats itself alive every fucking time. While the far right is laser focused, organized, and pushing authoritarianism into every level of government, we're busy tearing each other down over a fucking purity test and clickbait conspiracy theories. And the kicker, articles like this don't expose corruption. They hand ammunition to the GOP and their fucking propaganda machine. So let's call this what it is. It's a distraction. It's manufactured outrage designed to divide. And Taylor isn't some brave truth teller. She's a megaphone for chaos. And if we don't start recognizing this purity cult crap for what it is, we're going to wake up one day and realize the Nazis didn't even have to work that hard. We did their job for them. So no, I don't buy her fucking story. I don't buy the framing. And I sure as hell am not going to waste my time I can't even speak now, purity testing Democrats while authoritarianism is knocking on the front door. We've got bigger battles to fight than this fucking bullshit. And that's my rant.
But you're totally spot on with all of it. We do. I mean, like you just said, we have bigger battles than this bullshit. It is all a distraction. Everybody's like, well, what are they distracting us from? Are you not paying attention to all the other shit that's going on? Like,
it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And a lot of other leftist content creators who are against all of the whole Taylor bullshit that's going on, we've all come to the conclusion that this is a psyop from the right. Because we have evidence of Taylor participating in right-wing politics. Like, she went to the inauguration and a whole bunch of other right-wing parties under the guise of being a journalist. But
right.
No. And she's made some comments on Blue Sky about some of the Nazis are not mean people. They've actually been nicer to her than people on the left.
The fuck?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I was like, when I saw that come up, I was like, holy fuck.
Is there a clip of that somewhere?
Oh my god. Let me see if I can find
because that would be awesome if we could just pull it up.
Right.
Taylor Lorenz, Nazis are good people.
And the whole purity cult bullshit. Like, why?
Here's the thing. Like, here's what I'm getting with politics. Sorry to cut you off. With politics and even reporters, like, everyone can be bought. And I think there's a lot of vast majority of people that are just fucking fed up with it. That's why all these like secondhand news source things are as big as they are.
Oh yeah.
Like you got that guy on TikTok. For the life of me, I can't think of his name right now, where he's like every video is like breaking news. This is just in, it's this young guy. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Why people like him are thriving, because as far as we know right now, he's not being bought. But, if it's not him, it could be, somebody else that's, reporting on these types of things. Why we don't trust the mainstream media anymore. Why we don't trust our own politicians anymore. Because it's so easy to be like, oh, yeah, I am this way and I'm always this way. But behind closed doors, people get bought. And,
Well, but that goes along with the purity culture BS, because the purity culture is a Christian thing. I mean, let's be real. Mm-hmm. That is Christian.
Very much so.
And I mean, yes, there are other religions that do have a similar thing, but the cult-like following that we are currently dealing with is absolutely all Christian. Now, are all Christians bad? Absolutely not. I have met some wonderful people that are Christians, and they didn't have to tell me they were a Christian because I could tell by their actions. Number one, if you have to tell me what you are, obviously there's something wrong. I'm sorry, what, honey?
The older I get, the more triggered I am by Christians. Like, it's gotten to the point now that if somebody, even if I see them wearing a cross, they don't even have to say anything. I immediately distrust them. Immediately. That's how bad things have gotten.
For me, it depends on the size of the cross. Like, I'm sorry, if you're wearing something this huge and you've got to like wear it on a billboard, nah, you're trying to fool somebody and probably yourself. But for the people who have the dainty little, and most of the time it's like behind their shirt or whatever, I think that is someone who is wearing it for themselves, not to show it off.
I go off of how people talk about their religion.
Yeah.
Not by what they wear or what they display. I mean, if it's obviously paired up with like obvious things like if it's on the back of a vehicle, for example, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's other things that go along with it. But somebody just wearing a cross for me isn't necessarily triggering. It would be how they speak, how they act. Because if they're talking and then they're spewing hate, like, sorry, you can go fuck right off. I don't want you in my life. If I don't have to converse with you, I won't. I've got people at my work that are like that. They're like diehard, Christians that have like this very narrow-minded mindset. And I'm like, in my head, I've already made it my thing after conversing with them that I will only need to talk to you on a must-need basis. Work only. I'm not telling you about my life. Like, right. I'm not going to tell you about what's going on in my personal life. They ask, and I'm just like, no, I'm good.
No,
I'm all right.
Well, the biggest issue that I have is that they want to stand on what the Bible preaches. And that is where they're pulling all of this stuff for the purity culture. But they don't follow their own Bible.
They lust after women. They are seductive.
They want to judge everyone else based on their Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't even do it. Something wrong with that.
Far-right MAGA Christians and evangelists are charlatans. The rest seem to be all right. I'm going to pop that up there. Yep. I think for me, though, part of my trigger is the fact that I've lived in Utah for the last 25 years.
Mm.
And
that has got to be a special level of hell.
It is, and it isn't. I mean, you see a lot of things and you develop opinions. Like my opinion on women who are in the LDS church, they cannot say no because that is how they're raised. They cannot say no to anything. So all my friends who grew up in the church and surrounded by this mentality, they're overworked, they're exhausted, they're constantly go, like to the point I don't even know how they fucking function. Because between church stuff that they have to do, family, because it's all a patriarchal society, so it's all gender role based. I mean, it's a lot to see, and to see my friends who are good people but just kowtowed by this ideology. It's crazy, and they can't see the fact that they're in a cult. They can't see that,
and almost scary.
It is scary, especially with the way how media works now. You can see all these things that talk about cults and learn about it and pick up different things. And even though in their head, because I've seen this talked about on the Mormon side of TikTok, of how they pick up on some of these cues, like, oh, that sounds familiar. But it just doesn't click for them as to why that sounds familiar, because they were raised in it. So the blinders are all there. It's the same way with the MAGA cult. They don't see the trees through the forest,
Nope.
Or the forest through the trees, or however that saying goes. But okay, let's get back to Taylor. Here's her quote from X. Nazis are fascist, but ironically, in real life can be very welcoming and accommodating. Hence, they are able to effectively radicalize people. They show more empathy in real life in spaces they're recruiting in than these DSA people ever have. It's abhorrent, and another reason the left has zero power.
Wow. I don't even know if I have words now that it's like up there. I'm like, I don't have words.
Ooh. I don't either. And if you go through some of the TikToks that have been talking about this entire situation, there's like video showing that she's been liking and commenting in all of Madeline Pendleton's stuff, and I don't know if you've heard about her at all. She's
Quick Google search says that she's been reliably a left wing on all of her commented on all of her articles.
She is a psyop. Like she was fired from Taylor was fired from the Washington Post. Because she'd been sued for defamation left and right. Because she doesn't fact check. And the interesting thing is Wired published this article without fact checking any of it. So I'm seeing some of the bigger leftist creators like Elizabeth Booker Houston in particular. She came out on Blue Sky and on Threads just shredding this article to pieces with evidence of fact after fact after fact of like, this is incorrect, this is incorrect, this is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
And Elizabeth is an attorney on top of this. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lawsuit because there was a lot of defamation at this. And I'm also hearing a lot of people being like, well, it's not about those specific creators. It's about the fact that there's dark money. And I'm like, well, if it wasn't about those creators, then why mention them by name? If it wasn't a direct attack on those specific creators, why mention them by name?
Yeah, because at that point, what does who they are have anything to do with it if it's not an attack?
Like, if she wanted to talk about the dark money involved in politics and content creation and all of that, then she should have focused on the 1630 campaign.
What's the 1630 campaign?
The 1630 is a 501c4 nonprofit organization that funds a lot of progressive programs. They are one of the financiers for Chorus, which is part of this whole Wired article that's going around, where they pay for. So Chorus, my brain just froze. You know how your gears start going and then it just locks?
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, it locked Tria.
I call it hitting a brick wall.
Hitting a brick wall.
There's just a lot to it. So the 1630, they get funding from a lot of people on the left, a lot of big names probably, but we don't know because as a 501c4, they do not have to publicly disclose where they get their funding from. So that's where the whole dark money comes into play because nobody knows where this funding is coming from. And there's claims that it's the DNC who's controlling all of this and that the content creators who are working through Chorus have to put out specific content according to their contract, which is not true. Which is not true at all. Chorus is basically a nonprofit organization that trains content creators on how to make better content in regards to leftist and progressive policies. That's all it is. It's basically a fellowship where they train all these content creators. In fact, I just applied for Chorus last night after all of this. I'm like, I love what they're doing because this is something that we have to do on the left. We have to play the fucking game in order to win because we're losing hard because the right has it locked down as far as messaging and how much of their messaging gets out there, and the left just likes to fucking eat itself. That's all we do is we eat ourselves, and nothing happens, nothing changes.
Yeah,
and
that's definitely what I've noticed with the left is that when it comes time for actually doing action, we have nothing. We don't fight.
Nope.
We just cower, and I'm like, it's time for a change. It's time to like stop being like that. Like it's time to start fighting for it.
see,
You would think eventually they would, but
they're not angry enough. They're not angry enough, and
That's
it hasn't affected.
Because
them.
unlike the right, we actually have damn fucking compassion. Even with our enemies, like I can sit here all day long and sit there and say that I despise the MAGA, but I still hope that they will see the fault in their ways and that they see what they're doing. Who they voted for is so wrong. I don't want them to die. I don't want to like spew hate, because what good is that going to do? That's one way to look at it, is that yes, we might be cowardice. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but in that regard, but that just shows another viewpoint that we're better than the right. Because you don't need to fight. We shouldn't need to fight. That's what makes us different from the right, is that it's that whole aspect of compassion.
I would not say better, and there's a reason for that. Because we are no one to judge anyone else. We can judge a situation, absolutely. But we are no one and no better than anyone else on this planet. So I wouldn't say that we're better, but I would say that we are more compassionate and that we're more empathetic and we have a lot more common sense. Common sense should be a superpower because it's not so common.
I think this leads.
I think we hit a wall the further left we go. As to as far as empathy goes and compassion. Because if those two things is what separates us from MAGA, then we would never have had the never vote for Kamala, the never vote for Biden. We would never have had that.
Right.
Because those people had decided that their one thing was the genocide. That was their one target thing during all of this discourse the last 4 years. Last 3 years. However many years. It's only been 2 years. Okay. I need to do math. But that's been their whole discourse. And they decided that they were willing to sacrifice every other marginalized person in the United States and in the world for that one specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't affect them.
No.
They're not affected because it's all young, white kids who live in blue states who are spouting this bullshit. They don't live in red states. They're not marginalized in any way, or if they have a little bit of marginalization, like being a woman or in the LGBTQ community, they fail to recognize the intersection of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't affect them. No. And they typically I wouldn't say rich, because I've seen a lot of people on the poor side of this argument as well, but they have the means to survive where the rest of us don't. So that's where I get my whole we hit a point the further left we go where the compassion and the empathy just does not happen.
It's like a fucked up bell curve. It just falls off.
Yeah, it is. It's a bell curve that we fell off. You know the whole saying, the the further left you go, the more guns you get back. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. So,
because at what point do you keep going left that you become right?
Exactly. And it's frustrating, but I've gotten to the point, and I was talking to Ellie about this earlier. I posted a TikTok about an hour or so before our live tonight, where I just made fun of the leftists who are on the Taylor cult team, because that's what I'm calling it now. But I'm calling them conservative leftists, and they get so triggered by it.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's what they are.
It's what they are, and I have comment filtering turned on, so I have to prove a lot of comments. And they are so fucking triggered in my comments. So fucking triggered. Like there's just pages of.
But all of these people are being conservative. Right, but all of these people are being conservative, and it's all the conservatives that are like, "Oh, you don't need a safe space, and there's no triggers."
Yeah. So, the more we fight each other, the more the right wins, and they don't fucking care because they have to be morally superior and stand on their laurels, and that it's all to make themselves feel better. That's all this is. Seems like voting for the lesser evils slowly pushes the whole party to the right. No, actually it doesn't. What pushes the Democratic Party further to the right is the fact we have people who are not voting, who are progressives. Because the people who are going out to vote are centrists, people on the right. Like if you look at local and state elections, progressives aren't fucking voting. The leftists are not voting. This is why we have state legislatures completely taken over by the Republicans, because the Democrats and everybody further left from the Democrats is not going out to vote. They're not pushing progressive candidates. They're not doing anything. They're sitting on their asses going, well, at least I feel better at myself because I showed the man.
And what did they show? Nothing. Oh God. This is why I don't people.
Yeah. And people, and I blame the media for this, for the simple fact that people hyper focus on the presidential elections. Yes, the presidential elections are important, but what's more important? Local and state elections outside of the presidential election. So the midterms, every year there's an election in your town, in your state. You need to be going to the polls and voting. You need to be pushing progressive candidates. You can't be sitting on your ass.
Nope.
Going, well, I don't like either of the candidates. And then the right wins. That's how the right has gotten so far, because we don't do shit about it. We sit here and we talk about it. We argue about it. The left eats each other over it because the Democrats are now centrist, or they're too far right and they don't believe in progressive policies. Well, if you want them to believe in progressive policies, then you need to fucking work with the Democratic Party to make that happen. That means putting progressive candidates through as a Democrat. Bernie Sanders understands this. AOC understands this. That's why Bernie ran as a Democrat for president, because he understood that as an independent, he would never fucking win. So he ran as a Democrat because he knew that's what he had to do. AOC, she claims to be a democratic socialist. I believe she's actually further left than that. But she ran as a Democrat, and we need more people like her to run as Democrats to get the left out to vote. And when people are like, well, I'm not going to vote for Gavin Newsom, for example. because has shit policies on trans people. That affects me personally. But who do you have to replace him as a progressive? Who do you have him to push back against the right? You're not putting forth any candidates. You're just saying, I'm never going to vote for him.
Well, my sister is one of those people that she doesn't vote because my vote won't mean anything. This is why we're in the position we're in.
I have from some facts to share. I'm sharing my screen here. You want to pop it in the stream. So this is off of USA Facts. This is off of the voter turnout outpaced the president. This is just off of the presidential election. Both male and female had a decline in elections. Scroll down a little bit here. Age is also a factor. Our young youth are not voting.
No.
As much as they should be voting. Our Hispanic is not voting as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down here a little bit more. This is what I thought was a key factor here. Minnesota had the highest at 75%, 76. This is what I think is funny. That had turnout rates below 60%. Fucking Texas. You would think a very red state like Texas would fucking turn up. And it just goes down. Oklahoma at 59.
My thing about Texas is actually it's purple. It is actually more blue than we even know because of all the voter suppression that goes on there and the gerrymandering.
And this is just a chart based on, who had the highest turnout rate. It just, by employment. That's why I love these types of sites because, you could easily look up all this.
Yep.
This was a lot, this was in 2018. 2019. Look at the statistic for that.
Yep.
And 2024 and then 24. I said 2019. I meant to say 2020. But
election day every year needs to be a fucking holiday so people can take time off work to go vote.
Yes, absolutely. It should be a fucking paid holiday so people can do that in person.
And this gets me into mail-in voting, which has me fucking livid. So Utah has been mail-in voting for 20 years. Hardly any kind of voter fraud that's being claimed that there is. And it's a deeply Republican state. We're the only Republican state that's had mail-in voting for this long. And it works great. So the whole reason why there's this whole push against mail-in voting is because it's harder to manipulate the votes. We all know what happened with the machines this last election.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's even admitted. I think he even admitted it, didn't he? I think he fucking did admit it that they
both of them admitted to it.
Yeah, we need to fucking make sure to. Well, I mean, it's hard to tell what we're going to be talking about, but to be able to pull those clips up of them admitting it. This is where we pull in the mods, pull the mods, and have them fucking look it up. That's what they're supposed to be for.
Okay, make a note for me to pull those clips, and I will post them in the blog after.
That's perfect. I'm already have a little bit of a list done, so I'm already one step ahead of you on that.
So you're amazing. You're amazing.
I was looking at some things also about all of these facts, and one thing that, because I'm from Ohio, one thing that I have always heard is so goes Ohio, so goes the country. Why Ohio is the linchpin to all of that, I don't know, because there's something just fundamentally wrong about this state. But I mean, yes, in 2024 we had 71% turnout percentage, and this is directly from the state of Ohio. And we did vote. This state and all its intelligence voted for Trump.
Mhm.
And it's like, I look at this information of how many voters turn out. And with Ohio, our highest percentages are the presidential election years.
Yeah, that's because media pushes the presidential election as the big thing. Because, the whole commander in chief thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really not that important.
No.
Well, it didn't used to be. Up until the last two elections. Then it became pivotal that we do something for the election to save democracy, and we shouldn't have had to have done that at all.
Also, along with all of this, we were talking about content creators earlier.
Mhm.
There is a creator that I follow. She is on TikTok, Instagram. She's got Patreon, all sorts of things. It's Monty Mater. I can put her
Monty
name up.
Mater.
Mm-hmm.
Let me.
MONTMADER.
Do I follow Monty? I don't follow Monty. I don't. Think
She is
I've never
fucking
seen her
amazing.
before.
She is fucking amazing. Like, I mean, you would have to go back to some of her older posts to really understand what her background is. But, she gets a lot of comments about, oh, well, you never went to church. She went to church religiously. Yes, I noticed my pun. Until like the age of 24. And like, she can not only dispute people on religious levels because she has the background, she has the knowledge, but also the things that she brings out about historical facts is just astronomical. And she was a recent one. I'll have to give it to you so we can post it on we can link it on our website. She talks about the fact that the Third Reich, they started all of this dissension by saying, "Oh, we're bringing in these people to keep to keep this safe. We're trying to keep this safe because if they can prove that they can keep the capital safe, they can keep the country safe."
Yep.
And that is how they did it. And that is what's going on right now.
Okay, I found her TikTok. Hold on. I'm not going to share everything on her TikTok, but let me go directly to her account. Here we go. Okay, so this is Monty's TikTok, and I was just scrolling through it, looking at everything. She hasn't talked about what's been going on in the leftist sphere the last couple days, which is interesting to me. But looking at her videos,
that third one in on what is now the top row. Well, no. Go down to the second row.
Okay.
The third one from the left where it's 5461 is the count.
Okay.
That is the one where she's talking about if they can protect the capital, they can protect the country. It's just, she spits facts like it's insane.
Yeah.
And you can fact check her. You can fact check her stuff because she tells you enough that you're like, okay, and you can look it up and go, okay, that was legit.
On an unrelated note, she looks a lot like Lucy Lawless. Like, I looked at her and I'm like, oh my god, it's Xena.
She does. Oh my god. So I'm gonna little quick fact, real quick. When I started watching Xena, before I even had any inkling of any type of sexuality, I saw Xena and I was like, I was like, what is this I'm feeling? I don't understand. Cause I had no interest in boys or girls or nothing like that. But I saw Xena, I was just like, hey, Xena's on, guys. Like, we're gonna watch Xena, at this time because that's why.
Because.
So when I was in high school, I was 18 and I had a boyfriend at that time, and I was old enough to go to the adult store across the river in Council Bluffs to buy toys and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a porn video. Okay. Lesbians.
Mm.
And it didn't even click with me when I bought that video and how happy it made me. That maybe I was a little bit part of the island of Lesbo.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely sparked a little bit
with me.
A little spark of curiosity in that one. Yeah. I have to agree with you.
And I have to agree on the Xena thing, because like watching Xena was just like, and the innuendos between her and Gabby.
Yes.
The entire
time.
The whole time. Like, we'll have to have a watch party at some point and watch it or something off that. When we get big, we'll have a watch party. Make that be our follower goal. If we can manage to get, how many followers do you think we want to have? Or subscribers?
Subscribers, yes.
Subscribers.
But back to Monty though.
Okay.
Yes, she is absolutely gorgeous. Just so we're clear, I have no problems watching her TikToks, none. But she has such a way of presenting everything that even if you were unsure of facts and situations, you would understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
And I love her. Absolutely love her.
Absolutely. That sounds amazing.
I love content creators like that, because I try to be that way with my TikToks. I try to bring facts and receipts and try to make it educational.
Right.
Yeah.
Is what I try to do. And a lot of times I fail because I have a temper. I don't know if you guys know that, but
me. But here's the thing I've noticed with your temper. Your temper, yes, you spew in your opinion, but you're like, this is a fact. Like, this is in a book, or it's a thing. You might get emotional about it, but it's a valid emotion. Valid.
I like to back up my arguments with facts, because that's just who I am. I mean, it's the autism in me, I think. Because it's
probably
you have to have the facts. And if you don't have the facts, then how can you make an informed choice about something, an informed decision, or have an opinion about something if you don't know what's going on? Yes, Severus, I hear your opinion.
He wants you to know what's going on.
He's staring at me right now. It's funny. But yeah, it's just the way I've always been. I hate emotion. I always talk about the fact that I have an emotion chip and I shut it off, and I just go clinical, and I want to talk about the facts about things. I don't like to talk about the emotion side of things. And maybe it's part of a Gen X thing. I don't know. I really don't. Could be. But that leads me into Ellie's rant.
About with my rant?
Your rant.
I've got a few rants. Most my rants are more state, local stuff here. I just did a quick search because I wanted to be able to quote this guy. So when I first moved to Missouri, this is where I am currently. I'm from Florida. I'll never go back. It is hot and very humid, and I call it the devil's asshole because that's what it feels like. There's a senator here by the name of Mike Moon who had made comments in a legislative meeting where he encouraged child marriage. And when I saw that clip, I was blown the fuck away. I was like, this is coming from a senator. Well, Missouri made breaking fucking news. This would be a good rant, a little bit. That we just made child marriage illegal now. I mean, it took up until this point to deem it being okay. To be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't allow this to happen.
I mean, that's along the same lines of, if I remember correctly, there are 17 states in the union that bestiality is still legal.
You fucking kidding me?
Yep.
That is absurd.
I think Utah is one of those.
And well, one of the biggest reasons that they don't want to do anything about it is because they don't want to draw attention to it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that's probably why some of these states haven't done anything with the child marriage laws, because they don't want to draw attention to it.
That's why I was surprised, because I was just like, there's a lot of laws on abortion rights and things like that, and I'm all like, okay, well, that's still on the ballot. I'm not going to go into that rant because I'm not ready for that rant right now, because that's a whole can of worms here for right now. Right now, it's good, but it might be coming back. But yeah, that whole child marriage thing, I was just like, wow. I think the only exception is if it's under 18, it has to be a 17-year-old or something with parental consent. So both parents have to agree to said marriage, which I'm like, that seems reasonable, because there could be a 4-age age gap between the two people. You know what I mean? And that's right. Valid. But to even allow a 12-year-old, a 13, a 14-year-old kid to get married to a grown person, sorry. No.
The only reason that should be allowed is because the child has some terminal disease, and this is it. This is one of their wishes.
Yeah, maybe, but then you pick a kid. You pick another kid. You know what I mean? And you don't make it a legally binding thing.
Well,
you make it,
you don't make it legal. But no, there was God, I'm trying to remember where that was out of. There was one where a little girl asked her nurse to marry her. It's just the cutest thing. She had cancer. She was 7, 8, something like that. And, in that position, how can you tell a kid no?
I can see that from that perspective, but for me, it's, you find it crosses a really fine line in my book. Personally, even with that kind of scenario, it just what's the word I'm looking for? Encourages that type of behavior. If it becomes okay for one set of things, then it justifies other sets of things. Then you could take into account children who have disabilities, children who are emotionally delayed. You know what I mean? Like,
and those are the ones that should not be a factor at all.
I know, but like it shouldn't be, but it just raises the case of, like, if it's allowed for a terminally ill patient, then why can't it be allowed? It'll just open up that can of worms and leave a vulnerable set of individuals at risk. Very much so.
That's fair.
Okay, so I did some searching here. Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington do not allow underage marriage. The other states allow an underage person to marry in the following circumstances: If if one or more of the following apply: consent of the parents or legal guardians of the minor, consent of a court clerk or judge, or if the minor is emancipated. Or in exceptional circumstances, if one or more of the following circumstances apply: consent of a superior court judge rather than a local judge is required. If one of the parties is pregnant, if the minor has given
that's a
birth to a
loophole.
child. Yep, that's a loophole right there. In 5 states, a person who is 21 years old cannot marry a person under 18 years old, which is Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Louisiana, and Nevada. In 1 state, Florida, a person who is 20 cannot marry a person under 18 years old. In 3 states, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ohio, a person who is 22 cannot marry a person under 18 years old. Indiana and Utah are nearly the same, although a person who is 21 can marry a person who is 17 years old. 17. Minimum age in 50 states. 4 states have no official minimum age, but still require either parental consent, court approval, or both. California, Mississippi, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. 2 states have a minimum age of 15, which is Hawaii and Kansas. 20 states have a minimum age of 16, 8 minimum age of 17, and 60 states have a minimum age of 18. Like, man, in Massachusetts, the minimum marriage age is 18, but prior to July 29th, 2022, adolescents could be married with judicial consent. In Massachusetts, an adolescent's marriage did not automatically emancipate the minor. That's interesting.
That's crazy. See, these types of things, I think, honestly, should be a federal law. And there shouldn't be stupid loopholes like if the person is pregnant. Because what if they got pregnant by their, like, rapist? Or someone who's in the family. Like, do you marry then somebody who's in the family? Is that like that's the
well, they used to.
Yeah, would they be forced to marry the father?
From happening, but now it's not a requirement in most states. This is where I kind of get the whole state autonomy thing is not a good thing. In some aspects,
in others,
it's not.
In this aspect, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I think there should be a nationwide thing that needs to have strict guidelines, absolute strict guidelines. It shouldn't be up to the states at all, because there's just each state can have its own loophole depending on which way it swings.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another. I'm gonna lead in right into my next rant with local news. Okay. So if you guys don't know, Missouri was the St. Louis is one of the areas where the union started. Like, we have Union 1.
Oh, the union thing, yeah.
Yeah, like we are Union 1, and you know, when I talk to other people, like, I'm in the restoration business, I'm in and around different contractors all the time. And they give union workers a lot of hate. They're like, fuck union workers. You know what I mean? But I'm like, do you really see, like, why they exist? Like, understanding your rights, like a break, being able to have a paid lunch break, for example. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it, you know, I can't be able to tell you off the top of my head. I think here in Missouri, they do have a paid. They have to at least give you a 30-minute lunch break by law.
Mm-hmm. That's a federal.
That's a federal thing, right. But whether it's paid or not, I think is depending on the area you live on. I know at my last job, it was a paid break. We got paid for that 30 minutes. My job here, it's an unpaid break. Though we do have 2 15-minute breaks in addition to that is a paid break, and those are optional. But what is, you know, having standards in work practice is why unions are important, because they help fight to go on these things. They actually take action and stand up against their employer or their organization or their contractor and be like, no, you have to pay me a fair wage. At my job, it's a known thing. Nobody talks about their wage. In fact, my boss even said, don't talk about what I'm paying you, which is illegal, by the way.
Yep.
That's a red flag.
That's illegal. And they advise everybody, don't talk about your wage. Which is it's a thing. So here's what Missouri just passed. Sick leave. No such thing anymore. Paid sick leave. They no longer, a company can keep it if they want to, but they do not have to they are not mandated to pay you sick leave. So if you are in the hospital with a life-threatening injury or what have you,
you can lose your job.
They don't have to pay you. You'll be unpaid for that period of time unless you have, you could get insurance and like life insurance, temporary disability insurance through your work or through wherever. But
right.
If you don't have that, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. I'm like, all right, so they're slowly taking away rights.
Yep.
Each state has its own thing, and this all stems in everything that I was saying, even with the child laws. Like, yes, they might win in one area, but they fall back on another. Like,
I do want to make a correction. I was incorrect. It's not federal law for meal breaks.
Yeah, I thought so. I think it's on the state.
Yeah, it's all state related. The for the FLSA, which is the Federal Labor Standards Act, a player has to offer short breaks under 20 minutes. They must be paid as part of the employee's workday. So anything under 20 minutes. Anything over that doesn't have to be paid.
Right. Yep.
But they don't mandate meal breaks.
No, they don't.
Yay.
So, that it's just, it might be these paid breaks now, but who's going to say, all right, well, I mean, Trump did often say that, overtime thing, not having to pay. I'm like, all right, well, that might apply, but what's the tax bracket it applies to? Guarantee it's not going to be mine.
Oh God, no.
It doesn't. It's not going to apply to mine. I don't make that much.
Not going to be any of ours.
Not going to be any.
Nope.
So, it's always cutting down the middleman, the working people, to keep people below a line. That's why all this division is such a huge thing, like keeping people divided, making, people hate each other because it just creates this division. Keeps us dumb.
Yes. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
I have.
I can't watch it.
It's horrible to watch now.
I couldn't even watch it then because I already knew where we were headed.
I mean, I watched it then, but the whole time I watched it, I was like, "Oh God, no!"
You want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
About Idiocracy and something today.
Okay.
So when they were making that film, they had a brand make them shoes, and they wanted to make them to be as the stupidest looking shoes possible. Can you think of what kind of shoe that is? Crocs.
Listen.
So after I'm listening. After the movie was released, people were like, "Oh my God, Crocs!" And then next thing you know,
don't be coming for my fucking Crocs, okay?
So now you have to watch Idiocracy to its fullest extent now, and you will see every single person wearing Crocs. So.
Oh my God.
Listen, they are so fucking comfortable for my bone spurs, okay?
We can't hear you.
Did you lose sound already? Ellie lost sound. Uh-oh.
How about now?
Okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Is my video warped or no? Okay.
Nope, you're good.
No, you're good.
There. Okay.
You're good. I decided to log into our YouTube on my iPad so I could see what was going on. Since I can't get my sound deck to work.
Yeah, we'll have to do some actual troubleshooting with that.
Yeah.
Because I kept hitting, I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
As we're talking about, us losing our rights to work and all of that. It's like,
Oh yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
fits. I'm a potato.
I'm a potato. Don't get me started.
That makes me stupidly happy every time.
Don't get me started, please.
Cass is, I'm literally wearing Crocs at work right now.
That's hilarious.
I love you, Cassian.
That is
That's
hilarious.
amazing. Crocs are the
Okay.
best. Okay, so
We're
Chris,
gonna go from Crocs
yeah.
to a Croc. Oh shit.
Great segue.
I know, right? I have no words for the stupidity that this administration just continues to go to. White House defends the CDC firing and issues warning to others who aren't aligned with Trump's vision. So, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I checked, we were supposed to be allowed to have our own opinion. Did that change? Did they make a new law that I don't know about? Like, I'm 46 and I've always been. What that mouth do hurt your feelings, okay? Like, I've always had my own opinion. In fact, my mother said that my mouth was going to get me in trouble, and oh, does it ever? However, like, just because somebody isn't, quote, aligned, that's literally the entirety of the other party. Well, not the entirety, but yeah. Like, how... what kind of brass balls do you have to say that so blatantly? And then you want to tell us in the next breath that, oh, no, we're nothing like the Nazis. It's like a Maury moment. The test results say that is a lie. Like, I just...
that makes me wonder how many illegitimate children Trump has.
Ew, somebody slept with that.
Oh, don't. I can't even think about that. I'm gonna hide my face in my cup boobs.
Ah, fuck it. Y'all are gonna see my stupid fucking facial expressions. Fuck it.
You need to turn the mug around so your face is like right in between the boobs.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
There we go.
Here we go.
Got a
right into it.
I think I should. I think I'm gonna have to get one that's got cats because we know my thing with cats. Because hold on, I even have cat ears. Don't.
Oh, that's so cute.
Hold on, they're a little dusty. Yeah, and they got a jingle bell.
We can hear them. Yes.
That's cute.
Perfect.
Well,
keep them on now.
I can't.
Okay.
Well,
there you go.
See, now I have to bring out my puppet.
Oh my god, I love it.
Shark Week.
Shark Week. Hoo-ah!
So new viewers, just so you know, I fucking love sharks. Like, they're my favorite thing. Like, so my next life, I want to be a great white shark so I can eat white men.
Just take bites out of them.
There's a lot to unpack there, honey.
It is what it is. There's a lot to unpack there. So back to the CDC thing.
Yes. So, like, I was watching this video, and I mean, granted, it's only like a minute and a half, but like, Carolyn Levitt said that the director of the CDC was fired by President Trump himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't align with his mission.
Right.
Okay, fine. Not everyone in the country has to align with your mission. We have to align with the mission for the United States of America. This is not the United States of Trump.
True. Yep.
As much as he wants it to be.
Right? Like, I mean, I say that to his face. I don't care what that mouth do. Hurt your feelings. I don't care.
Don't care.
What's he going to do? Spank me, take away my birthday? Okay. Joke's on you. I'm into that. So, like, I don't know what the problem is, because at this point, our government just seems to be full. Well, the administration seems to be full of toddlers. And they're all angry because they need a snack and didn't get their way or some shit. Mm-hmm. My children behaved better as toddlers than this administration does.
Oh, God, yes.
And my children were shitheads.
Mm.
My oldest, if he could run, jump, climb, or leap on, off, or into something, the words that struck fear deep into my soul were, "Hey, Mom, look at this." Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm surprised he didn't break a bone. So, yeah.
Did you hear about what Maxine Waters said about all of this?
No, I did not.
Okay, this just popped up in my news feed earlier today. In fact, I was planning on doing a TikTok on this, but I'm going to go ahead and share this here. So she was on MSNBC Friday, sometime this week, talking about all of this. And she is calling for 45's cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment because of all of this. This is a 1 minute, 40-second video. I'm going to go ahead and play it, what she says. It's pretty interesting.
Who's that?
If we can get past.
Got to get past this ad.
It's different in a child.
Okay.
This stands to basically upend the entire economy. This stands to really deal with what is going to happen on Wall Street, what's going to happen with interest rates, what's going to happen with the President of the United States being able to make decisions that he will personally benefit from. And so the world, and certainly the United States, should be watching this very closely. As far as I'm concerned, we have to move very aggressively. It is not about, lingering and trying to think that maybe the courts will help us. I want, even though I know it may not happen, the cabinet that he's appointed, a bunch of his sycophants who probably won't do what I would recommend. It is time to call for Article 25 of the Constitution of the United States of America to determine his unfitness, to determine that something's wrong with this president. And I would suggest that we move very aggressively to talk about the danger to this country and to our democracy, and not play around with this, because this is absolutely one of the most destructive things that this president could do.
So, yeah.
Valid. Yeah.
I 100% agree with her. And what's funny about that clip, if I can get back to my screen here. What's funny about that clip is that this was posted on Fox News.
Really?
The headline that Fox News used
Wow.
is Representative Maxine Waters calls for using the 25th Amendment to find out what's wrong with Donald Trump.
Wow. I would not expect that from Fox.
No.
And reading through this article, they quote her word for word, but they don't really say much. They did get a quote from somebody. I think it's jarring to hear Congresswoman Waters say it's time for the 25th Amendment, but I mean, presidents have been impeached for much less. And that was Sanders Townsend, who was part of that panel. But the fact that this was posted on Fox News blows my fucking mind.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good. They should post this shit to give some of
Fox
the.
News Digital reached out to the White House for comment, but hasn't heard anything back. That whole thing just for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Just fucking crazy. But now with the CDC firing, Lisa has filed a she sued 45 and administration for the firing so she can keep her job.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens in the courts. I don't have much faith that they'll be able to do anything, even because yesterday or Friday, a gentleman appeared in court for immigration. The judge granted him asylum, and as soon as he walked outside the court doors, he was kidnapped and hauled off by ICE.
Jesus.
Oh, getting into that. What was that one guy? Oh man, his name's gonna escape me now. Of course, the one that we had
Abrigo Garcia.
Yeah, he got detained again, and now he's going to Uganda.
Uganda of all places.
Uganda. I'm like, this poor man cannot catch a fucking break. But I'm like, it just goes to the pivotal argument of like, the fuck are we doing?
And then we have troops outside Venezuela because we now have a hit out on the Venezuelan president.
Yeah.
Who are we now?
I don't know.
That is a damn good question. The Fourth Reich, maybe? I don't know.
I think this is a valid, good point to move on from political stuff because we'll just repeat shit we went from last stream.
Yeah, this is my idea. Okay. How about we get into our personal rants now? Because they're kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. It's funny.
I didn't even write a script for this because I don't need to.
You don't need to.
Why the fuck do my cats fling their litter everywhere? Why?
Because cats.
Like
So-
we have a litter robot, so it's like this big dome with a little opening, right?
Mhm.
But I walk into we have their litter box in our closet. That is their space because that's the only place this fucking thing fits because it's huge. And that entire closet is covered in litter, and I vacuum it up every time I change out that litter box. Every single time. And it's just covered. It doesn't matter what kind of litter I use. It's just there. And it's tracked out of the closet, through my bathroom, through my bedroom, all the way down to their fucking food bowls in the kitchen.
Wow.
Okay, but keep in mind, I live in 950 square feet of space. It's a single wide trailer. Okay, so it's
But
not
still,
that
that's
far.
quite a ways.
It's probably like a good 20-30 feet that litter is tracked, and I am so mad about it. And then Severus, he cannot cover his shit.
He does the air thing.
He does the air thing. He scratches the walls. He's like, and I'm like, what
Like,
are
dude,
you covering there, dude?
It's like,
Did
dude, you
take-"
realize that you're not touching anything, right?
Exactly, and he's not. And Willow just stares at him. I swear she just laughs at him. She's the one who covers her shit. Because of course, it's a girl thing.
Well, yeah.
Well, guys like to have their shit stink, so
And why?
I don't know.
Is there something with testosterone that does that? Like,
Honestly, I think so. I'm gonna have to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love my cats, but I am so sick of having to vacuum my closet like 2 or 3 times a week just to clean up this fucking litter. I've tried
I
it
threaten
all.
my cats to turn them into Chinese food at least twice a day.
If I could train them to shit in the toilet bowl, I would.
I've seen videos of that. People actually training their cats to use the throne.
My cats are smart but stupid and very, very fucking stubborn, just like I am.
Hmm.
You know how your pets imitate their owners kind of thing? Yeah.
Yep.
There's no way I could get them to shit in the toilet.
No, plus they're older cats. It's better to do them when they're still young.
Yeah. Well, and Willow likes to drink out of the toilet because she thinks she's a dog.
Yeah.
You know, if pets do take on the personality of their owners, maybe that is why all 3 of my cats are clingy, needy, and unstable.
So,
Fun.
you know how
I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm doing a live.
Hello.
You told me a bit too late, but don't worry. I did 2 virus scans.
What happened? You downloaded it?
Yeah, I
Oh God.
I did.
Okay.
I did everything as possible.
Can you call Pab? Just call him on Discord and he'll help. He can try to help you.
I
Call Pab.
Okay. I
Okay.
disabled my Ethernet cable.
Oh, yep. Just call Pab. Preface of what all that was just about. For the viewers, we have a Discord thing going on the personal Discord thing, and somebody's account got hacked, and now that hacker is going through all of the friends, every single person, and the person's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it for the money. Go suck a dick, basically. And it's an issue now, and I had informed my child don't to do this, and he just sent me freaking out saying that he did, and he downloaded the link.
Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
I'm in recon mode right now. Okay.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Okay. I'm gonna have somebody else take care of that momentarily. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I'll move on to the next my personal rant. Okay.
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 This ties in perfectly with your rant when we get to it.
Mm-hmm.
My personal rant is I have a supervisor who is unable to regulate their emotions. And because of their inability to regulate their emotions, being able to be a supervisor is infringed upon. I don't know if that's the right word for it. The inability for somebody to observe a situation around them and read between the lines and to be understanding and like really understand like if something is of more importance to I can wait a few moments, like being able to differentiate what's important and what's not important. I'll give you an example. Okay.
Oh boy,
I have
see
got
that-
actually
I see that
two examples of where this all comes from. So, in the midst of summer, where the heat index was ridiculously stupid high, I was working in a building that was all gutted, but there was a roof leak from the tornado, so it was muggy. There was mold everywhere. The roof was still leaking. It's raining every day, so it was horrible. And I started experiencing symptoms of heat exhaustion. So in this building, there's, it's, 4 units on the bottom and 4 on top. So in this specific instance, all of us are on the top floor and 2 units because it's all gutted. So you see the first 2 units. I work a little bit. I step outside. I'm not on my phone. I'm not even smoking a cigarette. I'm sitting on a lumber on this porch, drinking water. I cool my body temperature down and I get back to work. And I do this a few times. One of the times I go out because I started feeling nauseous. And usually when you get to the hit point of nausea, you're hitting critical points. I started feeling nauseous. Yeah. I'm getting flushed. My heart's starting to race. I'm like, I need water. I need to put water on my core points. And as I'm going to go get water, he comes off the balcony. What are you doing? Why are you taking so many breaks? If you're going to be taking so many breaks, you need to get off this job site. I said, I'm having heat exhaustion right now. I'm taking a few moments to cool off. But he lost his cool. He's all like, well, maybe you shouldn't be here. And that situation tells me, okay, well, you might be able to handle it. But that is just because that you can handle it doesn't mean that I can handle it.
Exactly.
And you have to be understanding as a supervisor that you have to try to be like, okay, well, this person's taking a break. They're obviously not smoking a cigarette. They're like, let me check in on them, being like, hey, I noticed you're taking breaks. Even phrasing it differently and using a different tone makes all of the fucking difference when speaking to somebody. Being like, hey, I noticed you're taking a lot of breaks. Like, are you okay?
Is something wrong?
Then I'll have this respect back to you. Be like, okay, this is a supervisor that cares. Let me make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing. And it gives the employee aspect of this person cares. But from that moment, I'm all like, this motherfucker don't care about me. So I'm not going to care about him. Yep. And then this last incident, and it wasn't even a big thing. There's 4 people on this job. 2 people are ripping up floors with this tool that isn't meant for ripping up hardwood floor. It's meant for roofing. And I'm down there kneeling down with my hammer and pry bar tool. Because it comes up, you pull the nails with it. The method they were doing, yes, it was faster, but you're leaving the nails, you're leaving everything else. I'm like, it still doesn't add or subtract any time. It still takes equal amount of time, no matter which way you do it.
Right.
And he said, hey, can you go ahead and start helping pick up this board? And I had 7 or 8 more boards to pull up. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me just finish this little row right here and I'll get right to it. I said it very respectfully. I kept doing it. Not even 5 seconds later, he stands there and he's looking at me. He's like, girl, go ahead and do this thing. I said, yeah, all right, just 1 second. I'm going to finish this. And he's like, no, that's not how this works. And I'm all like, it's okay, dude. It's really okay. But then the moment after that, I finished what I was doing. And then he went the most aggressive way, making a bunch of noise, making a bunch of ruckus. I'm like, you're so emotionally deregulated that you can't fathom. It all stems down, I think, for people who have unhealed trauma, who don't know how to regulate themselves effectively. He's an older guy, so I'm assuming his parents are also older. In fact, I think I even stumbled upon his Facebook. And his parent, is probably what I would consider a grandma age. So I'm like, okay, so you were raised by people, probably 60, 70 years old at this point.
Right.
That are teaching you, don't show your emotion, be a man, do this, you know what I mean? Don't heal your emotions. And now he's a grown man who can't effectively regulate his emotions because of how he was taught.
Yep.
That's my rant.
Well, and it makes all good points because it's not it's their ability to manage others is compromised. I think
Exactly.
is the best word for it, because they are unable to separate business from emotion.
Correct.
Mhm.
And when you can't do that, you need to GTFO.
Yep.
Ugh, that just
Absolutely.
this is why I don't people. That's why I deal with computers.
I get it.
Peopling sucks.
Yes.
It really
My-
does, because people are unpredictable and they can be people.
Yes.
A very valid term.
My daughter is so funny because she is very much, she's a social butterfly, but with her people, just like she's my kid, 100%. And so she has jeans that she calls her people pants.
Yeah.
And she
The
only
people
puts those. She only puts those on when she has to people.
Yeah.
I support this 100%. However,
makes total sense.
I'm gonna steal that thought process,
Go for it.
and I'm gonna run. Speaking of age issues, so like I don't know if this is just something that people are all hopping on the bandwagon, or if people are all really like got their knickers in a bunch or something. I don't know what, but every time I turn around lately, it is younger generations calling out Gen X because we're just horrible people. No, we're not horrible people. We want you to leave us the fuck alone. That's what we want. And when you don't leave us the fuck alone, what that mouth do? Hurts our feelings, and you can't take it. So there's number one. But they don't want to admit that every generation has issues. And the younger generations, it seems, think that they're the ones who have made all of these computer things. No, my generation did. Gen X made a lot of social media stuff and a lot of technological advances because that's the age range of people that were graduating from college and going out into the workforce. Or for the real nerds among us, kudos to you. I applaud y'all. I love y'all to pieces. Love my nerds that learned how to code while they were working at some factory job that was sucking their soul dry. And they finally made it big with something that they did. Like, no, just because you're the generation that uses it mostly. No. My generation made it. So there's that. But every generation has fucked up.
Yep.
Every generation. And every generation has some really good things about it. And I saw one, I want to say it was last week. I saw TikTok. And I couldn't find it. Otherwise, I would have made sure that we had it for tonight. But this girl was bitching about the music and movies of Gen X. Then why are y'all always using it? Why are you using our music from the 80s? Why is your generation using it in their music? Why are y'all just redoing our movies and you're not changing anything but making them look better? Like, and this isn't to say that our shit was amazing, even though it really was. There is also amazing shit today, but you can't call it shit and then say it's okay for your generation to use it all. I blame it on participation trophies. I really do.
Yes.
I get that.
it's just like, just because you're young does not mean that you have all the answers. Like, I know that has been a fight for of parents for, like, I don't know, since the dawn of time. But like, this newer couple generations, I think it's what, Alpha and Beta are the newest ones, I think. I think so.
Alpha terrifies me.
None of them terrify me. However, some of them I want to shake the shit out of. We have a spam.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to delete it, and it's not allowing me to. Like, I can block him, but I can't delete the post. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's so weird.
Let me see.
Oh my gosh, Cassian, are you serious? Imagine getting into fights at a bar with a guy who's 5'3" and wearing Crocs, then losing. Do we need to send you an ice pack?
Are we mods on Twitch?
I thought so.
Maybe that's
Oops, hit the wrong thing. So I banned him, but
well, it now says message deleted by a moderator.
okay. I don't know how. Maybe it deleted when I banned them. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, that is my major rant, is that I'm tired of the younger generations wanting to tout off that they are the best shit since sliced bread and toilet paper. And they don't want to, this goes back to last week, accountability. They have no accountability for the things they did fuck up. They want praise for everything that they did and did right. And then they want to be okay with shitting on all the other generations for the things that they fucked up. And it's just, I don't get it.
I think it's just an age thing, because we did it when we were their age. To the boomers, to our parents, and to our grandparents, we thought we were hot shit. When we were 19, 20 years old or younger, we thought we knew everything, right? I think it just, part of it is the frontal lobe development. You're in that space where you think you know everything when you don't. And by the time you realize that you don't is when your frontal lobe has fully developed.
Right.
Which is 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time span, I totally expect to get, a whole bunch of shit from the younger generations, because I did the same thing when I was their age. I think it's just it's just an experience in growing up, and the whole
I guess
out.
I guess it just seems more disrespectful in the things that they're saying nowadays. I don't know. Maybe that's just I'm old. I don't know. It just
since we're the same age, I'm going to say it's because you're old.
It's
because you're old.
My viewpoint is a little different than that. I think this stems out for as far back as mankind can write. It all goes down to how we advance in each generation, both economically, financially, industry wise, like even like when TV became a thing, like it was all over newspapers being like,
Right.
oh my God, you know, even back then they were ranting that like, oh, young people don't want to work. Back then, way back then when it was everything was all done on newspapers.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a frontal lobe thing. I think it's just a thing that it's based on perspective and individual experience. It also ties into like what kind, a little bit from what I was saying with it on an individual basis. Like you grow up and you learn a certain thing, and that is what you deem from your perspective as how you handle things. So each generation, each thing has their way that they've done things, and that's how they perceive the world, and they're unable in most cases to see the other side, you know. And that's gonna continue to happen. I mean, like every generation is going to knock on the previous one before it. I'm pretty sure when we get like, I think for my generation, I'm a millennial. A lot of millennials say, well, everyone's on their phones, which they are. Technology is rampant. Can it be a bad thing? Yes, but could it also be a really great thing? It absolutely can be. You know, what was it for my time? It was like, well, you know, where's your kids? They would have ads on TV.
Do you know where your kids are?
Do you know where your kids are? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Like, it's shit like that. At least I know where my son is. My son's in his room. He's not off sneaking away or running away. Like, he's in his room.
And I think it was Jess that had said something about that. Maybe one of the reasons that Gen X gets so much shit from both sides is because a lot of us broke generational trauma.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why the boomers are pissed off at us, because we're not going through the same uphill battle that they did to school both ways, barefoot in the snow. And then because the younger generations are mad at us because either they think that they're missing out on something, or they're listening to the boomers as their grandparents, and you know, they're being told that they're missing out on these traditions or whatever.
Right.
And so I think it's just that we're stuck in the middle, and people just don't realize that we don't give a shit. It's like, why do you want to call out Gen X? Talk shit, get hit was like the motto of our whole generation. And for people who were pacifists in our generation, who did not do physical violence, that is how we learned how to hurt you with our words. What that mouth do? Hurt your feelings.
Hurt your feelings.
I'm good at it too, because you can ask anybody in my family, in my close circle. I don't give a shit. So like, I don't know why the millennials and younger want to call us out, but it's not smart.
It's because for the longest time we were ignored.
Keep ignoring us. Leave us the fuck alone.
You know, I personally love that we're finally getting called out, because the dividing line with Gen Xers and their political beliefs has been pretty stark. Like those of our generation who were born like 1970 at the start of Gen X tend to be more conservative.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris and I, you know, we're in the later 70s. We're basically considered a zennial because we're right on the cusp, because we were born in 78, just to be honest. I mean, we're 46. But we tend to be more empathetic and more aligned with millennial and progressive and liberal talking points because of that, I think. But then we have Gen Z. And
Mhm.
I had a lot of hope for this generation. I really did.
Oh, I did too. Yeah.
I had so much hope for this generation. And it was just completely squashed because of the alt-right pipeline.
Oh yeah.
That was insidious through Roblox, all the online gaming servers,
Mhm.
and this is how the alt-right captured these young kids, specifically the boys, and got
Mhm.
them into the toxic red pill mentality.
You know, with that thought process, we're going on a lot of rants today. With that thought
Yeah.
process, though, think about all of the different terrorist actions that we have heard about. That was one of the biggest ones for, I think it was Is that did it. I refuse to say it right. I like is better because it's funnier. That's what they would do is they would, you know, get these younger boys online and just start slowly indoctrinating them. So basically our government has, you know, found ways to use terroristic methods against their own people.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Muy bueno.
trying to break Gen Z out of that is going to be really, really hard.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm terrified of Gen Alpha. Because they're even more entrenched in the digital online capabilities than Gen Z was. Like talking to friends who are teachers of Gen Alpha kids. These kids are absolutely fucking feral. Like half of them don't even know how to read when they get to kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Like they are so I mean, we call them the honey badgers for a reason.
Right.
I felt that on parents. A lot on parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, my son is online, but I pride myself in this. At 4 years old, my son knew how to read proficiently. Yeah. Like at least 3-letter words for his age group, you know what I mean? Like he knew how to skip count. At 4, he knew how to add and subtract up to 3-digit numbers without doing any carryover at 4 years old. At 4. Mm-hmm. He was superseded almost all of his classmates in pre-K and in kindergarten. Kid is super smart, and because of that, he's always, for the most part, had AB honor roll all his life. Because of that, a lot of parents, they got lazy. Oh, here's a YouTube video. I taught my son about internet safety. I still, obviously, I need to go back over and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But that not necessarily is wrong because it looked like it came from a friend. So, but
well, and you know, I'm in kind of a similar boat with my daughter. You know, she's going to be 18 next year, and you know, we have had all the discussions about the internet safety, and I mean, we've had one snafu, which y'all know about. But you know, otherwise, for the most part, she's pretty good. You know, and school has always been rough for her. In the younger years, it was because her dyslexia was kicking in and kicking her ass. And we struggled and we fought with the school to try to get her help. Right. And so, you know, that kind of put her back a little bit. I mean, she was passing and moving on, but there was some things where she was only barely passing. Math was probably the worst for her because she would transpose the numbers all the time. And, you know,
dyscalculia.
Do what?
Dyscalculia.
Dyslexia.
Well, with numbers, it's different.
It's the same thing for math.
Well,
it's called dyscalculia. Yeah.
Well, she had it on
that.
she had it on everything. like not as bad as my sister. My sister at one point in high school, the only way that she could read anything without getting a headache was she would take a mirror and angle it so that she could read it in reverse in the mirror.
Right.
And that was the only way that she was able to retain a lot. So I mean, while my daughter wasn't that, hasn't been that bad, it's bad enough. And that affected spelling, that affected math, and the school was like, oh well, she's not bad enough. Okay, but you're not doing anything. You're not testing her. You're just going by what the teacher is saying. And that was a big struggle. But even through all of that, she has still managed to keep going. And yes, she games. She's my little nerdy gamer. She's cute. But like she and I have a great relationship. We talk and we shoot the shit. And you guys have seen her. She gives me a kiss before she leaves. Like where's the disconnect for so many other kids? Is it the parents are distant? Is it the kids are distant? Is por qué no los dos? Is it both? Like where was the switch?
All of the above. I think it's all of the above.
And that's sad.
It's a complicated thing because you can't just pinpoint one specific thing.
Yeah.
Because each situation is different. You have one kid that's being neglected, but you have one that's being overprotected.
Helicopter moms. I was never one of those.
I'm not necessarily one of those either. But I do have somebody in my family who is. Or was. I won't get into it because I don't want to talk about that about my family. So, but the helicopter mom thing is just crazy. Cassie, and in my experience with the students I tutor, they get tossed in front of screens and no one helps them. Not the parents, not the teachers. They just let them sink or swim on their own. That's a very Gen X mentality.
Yeah.
That's a very Gen X mentality. Sink or swim, because that's the way it was for us.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Which is really sad.
It's
you're grinning like the Mad Hatter over there. What's going on?
Oh, the server's calling in for a server raid on the hacker that hacked my friend's account, and I was sharing her with the profile and the server ID, the channel ID, user ID. Sorry, words.
English is hard.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, I don't know what we can do with that information or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there's things.
Normally, I don't condone this, but it is a person that hacked my friend's account, and he can go fuck off and die. Because he's getting people to click on their link. Anyways, that's other server drama.
I hate. This is why I don't like people. I love my people.
I do. I love my people too. It's the other outside stupid people.
I can't handle stupid. I've reached that age where I can't do stupid. And I've had people ask me, well, why can't you be nicer? I will be nicer when they're smarter.
Dude.
I was called an intellectual narcissist once.
What?
Because I can be, I fully admit this, I can be just a little bit condescending.
You? Never.
I mean, sometimes it's deserved. Let's be real.
Never.
But an intellectual narcissist is somebody that always has to be right.
Sorry.
with narcissistic traits behind it. And I'm going to be honest, everybody has a little bit of narcissism. Every single person on this planet.
It's a
And
part of what's needed to survive.
It is, because it's part of our natural makeup.
By the way, that's my Swery Mandala cup.
Oh, that's pretty.
And it says, fuck you, fuck this is bullshit, blow me.
But the whole thing just made me laugh with the whole intellectual narcissist. And then I had to break out the DSM and give the definition of it.
Of course you did. What version do you have?
Oh God, this was several years ago. It was whatever I Googled. I don't even know what version it was. It was
I used to actually own the DSM-4TR, so
nice. No,
I had that on my desk all the time.
My favorite thing to do is to talk about history and politics, the Constitution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I can pull out my Federalist Papers and my Constitution and read directly from this in a TikTok video, I am the happiest person on earth.
I love the fact. Okay, pause for a second. Pull it back into the frame.
The fact
you see the
tabs?
I know, right?
I have it fully tabbed. Like it's by chapter for the letters for the Federalist Papers, so it's numbered that way, and then it has by the amendment. Like I have Article 2, Article 3 for 5, 6, 7, so that way I can jump to shit quickly.
I love that.
I can jump to it quickly, find my reading glasses wherever the fuck they are. I think they're in my backpack somewhere in the living room. And then I can just bring it up and read it. And the thing that I love to do besides reading from this is then I get onto the Library of Congress website and I take a screenshot of the actual of what they have there for the Constitution, for the amendment, and then I put that screenshot in my video and I highlight the specific parts so they can read along. So the intellectual narcissism, I will own that.
Yeah,
I will own
you use
that.
it as a tool.
Right, you're not using it as a weapon, you're using it as a tool.
I mean, to be right, I mean, I've actually known somebody who was a true intellectual narcissist. I dated one even who just extreme book smart. Not saying the person wasn't smart, very fucking smart, but very condescending. Like, well, you don't know what you're talking about here because I went to school. I have a bachelor's degree. Sounds like another person that we also know that happens. A little unicorn that crossed the way that
good thing unicorns are extinct.
They will be.
I shouldn't have said that. Anyway.
I know nothing. I see nothing. Hear nothing. I'm just cute.
Some people don't know that they're a narcissist.
Oh,
and
no,
we'll blame.
They do.
Here's what I've noticed. True narcissists will point out other narcissists.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are adamant. And will use that as an argumentative point. My ex-husband, hardcore narcissist. Never did anything wrong. Always this God-fearing person, moral standards. He was the exact opposite of that. But every person he met, that person's a narcissist. That person's a narcissist. My ex-wife's a narcissist. You're being a narcissist. I'm like, the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I have found through my life experience that narcissists tend to be therapists. Because they weaponize it.
Yep.
They weaponize it. And that is my experience from my father, who was a social worker for well, I can't say. I won't say. Let's just say he worked in juvenile detention
Mhm.
for his entire 30-year career. He had
Damn.
one job. And yeah. So I just yeah. And so they weaponize everything that they learn as a therapist in order to make it seem like they're good people.
Oh yeah. However, I am going to circle back to your book for a moment.
Okay.
Have you read People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn?
I have not. It is on my to be read list. It's on my TBR. I need to buy it. What I'm actually currently reading is where did I put it? There it is.
I want that book.
Me too. I actually have had that on my TBR.
Okay. This is my third read through of it. I haven't fully annotated it. Okay, but I've gone through and annotated some of my
Hasn't
favorite-
fully done it. Shows you 76 different tags.
Listen, okay. I stopped annotating right about there. So like halfway through. Because it was getting to the point of too much. Because she makes so many good points. So many good points. Like, fight against hunger as hard as you fight for abortion rights or equal pay. Understand that this isn't a problem that can be addressed later. Then she'll same page. Why is it that we're more inclined to create programs to combat obesity than ones that meaningfully addressed hunger? Popular media continues to perpetuate racial stereotypes that were part and parcel of imperialist propaganda, particularly about women of color. Right? Portraying men of color as sexually voracious and preying on innocent white women reinforces a cultural obsession with black on white stranger rape at the expense of the vastly more common intraracial acquaintance rape. Like, I mean, all of this. My favorite, though, an intersectional approach to feminism requires understanding that too often mainstream feminism ignores that Black women and other women of color are the proverbial canaries in the coal mine of hate.
That is a good one.
So I recommend this book left, right, and fucking center because it is so good. It is so good. I love it. I know a lot of people in social justice work usually push out White Fragility as the must thing to read, and I waffle on it because it's written by a white woman, okay, who's profiting off of
Right.
Black pain and all of that. But
And I have an issue with that.
But the book is really fucking good because it makes you think about things in a different perspective.
Yes. I have a friend of mine, well, a friend of a friend. She's a very avid reader. If you guys were to see her read log, you'd be like, holy fuck, woman, do you even have free time? That's how much books that she reads. And she has a large, very, very large genre of stuff that she reads. And she's really, I don't even know the right word. Try to find a different word to. When it comes down to topics like that, she dives deep. Like the person who wrote it, the authors, everyone, even in all her other alternative reads, she goes into it. And I'm all like, okay. When I asked her, like, what are some stuff that I can read on, especially when it comes down to left culture and more specifically, just opening my mind more to learn a different aspect. That was one of the first books she recommended to me.
Hood Feminism?
Hood Feminism. And she is a Black woman.
Yeah.
And she's extremely educated, is in the force. Like she has a role, but she's like really like super fucking smart. I have so much, I don't want to say, I mean, it's not the right word, but I admire her because of like the knowledge base that she has. If I eventually, hopefully I want to get her on the show because I feel like she would have a lot to offer with her knowledge base. But that is definitely one book. Another book that she had referred to me is that, I love this title. I wish I had it right next to me. It's called This Book is Gay.
Yes.
I think I have it somewhere. I'm going to go grab it. I got to grab it now.
Now I need to see this.
Now I have not gotten to reading it because I'm reading another novel that's like, I don't know, like 5,000 pages, like 1,000 pages. Like it's a thick boy. But this is my next next read. This is what it looks like.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Let's see what the back says. It says, there's a long-standing joke that after coming out as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or intersex person, you should receive a membership card and an instruction manual. This is that instruction manual. You're welcome. Inside this is revised and updated edition. You'll find answers to all the questions you'll ever want to ask, from sex to politics, hooking up and stereotypes, coming out, and more. This candid, funny, uncensored explorations of sexuality is what it's like to grow up in the LGBTQIA+. QIA plus also includes real stories from people across gender and sexual spectrums, not to mention hilarious illustrations. You'll be entertained, you'll be informed. Most importantly, you'll know that whatever you identify or don't, you are exceptional, you matter, and so does this book. This is one of the other books. And I thought I saw this
I think I'm gonna have to add that to mine.
So Missouri has a Pride Fest here. We have the park here. It's a very known park. We just had the Festival of Nations, which is a food festival here, which is phenomenal. Always is, usually. This year. But they have Pride Fest, and I bought it at the Pride Fest. And I was like, I saw this book.
Nice.
And I always look for Hood Feminism because I want to buy it from somewhere local at those shops, and I always forget to go to a bookstore. But they never have it because it's even at the library. You know how hard it is to even find it at the library?
Yep.
It's a really
it's really hard to find.
I like with my local libraries, they're all connected, and you can request it, and as soon as your name comes up, they will pull it from whichever library it comes in on, and it'll get shipped over, and then you'll get. I think there's like 80, 100 libraries that are all in, probably more, but so it's really nice to be able to pull from a larger mass of titles and everything. So,
yep, agreed.
It is. Because I live in rural Utah, it's hard for me to get books. Like, we have a library. And yeah, it's interconnected with a whole bunch of other libraries in the state. But even then, it's really hard to get books because they don't work with the Salt Lake City library at all, which is the main huge, beautiful, gorgeous library in downtown. But
do you have a library card with these other places?
Oh yeah, I have a library card, so I can get stuff. It just takes a while for me to get it. Like
do they have the digital option?
The interlibrary exchange will sometimes take weeks because they had to order it from northern Utah.
Do they have the digital options?
They do have some digital options, but some of the books that I want to read are not available as ebooks. So
Of course not.
Yeah, of course not. So there's a local bookstore, and I go there not fairly often, but I go there when I need to request specific books and have them order it for me, because I'd rather support a local bookstore than Amazon if I can help it.
Yes.
But sometimes I have no choice but to order from Amazon, and then I always buy used. So that way I'm still supporting a small bookstore somewhere.
Right.
But for book recommendations, I keep these right next to me because these are important books, and I haven't read all of them yet. But The Purpose of Power by Alicia Garza. She's one of the founders. She's one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter. How We Come Together When We Fall Apart. This is important specifically for this time period. So I haven't read it yet. It's supposed to be a good way to kind of help you figure out how to organize locally.
Okay.
And then We Do This Till We Free Us, Mariam Kaba, Abolitionist Organizing and Transforming Justice. This is also another great book to help as far as forming local community. And this one specifically, everybody needs to pick up a copy and read. Mutual Aid. Oh, come on, camera.
It's doing the auto blur.
Yeah, it's because you keep covering your face.
Keep it in front of your yeah.
Mutual Aid by Dean Spade. Building solidarity during this crisis and the next. And this has a lot to do with building community and safety and all of that. And Dean has some online classes, workshops that go with this, and extra teachings that everybody should participate in. In fact, I would love to host a workshop for us to go through it.
Who's it by?
Kind of on my radar.
Who's it by?
Dean Spade. I
Dean
just pulled
Spade.
it up.
Got it. Okie dokie.
So those are my main recommendations right now. I have more, but they're not here in front of me.
That's fine.
I also have.
We'll go on a whole rant on just that.
I love books, so. Where did it go? The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Mass incarceration in the age of what? Mass incarceration in the age of colorblindness. And it actually has a foreword by Cornel West, Dr. Cornel West. If you don't know who that is, he used to be one of the main party figures for the Green Party. Pretty cool stuff. He's been huge in kind of the social justice networks kind of thing. So
that
those
also
are my recommends.
The New Jim Crow looks like it has a study guide and call to action too.
Yep.
I'm looking at shit as you're rattling it off. Well, I'm trying to look at all of it.
Sure.
Oh my God. You know what I'm going to do after this podcast? I will write a blog that will have a list of all these books plus more and where to buy them.
Recommended reading list. Yeah.
Recommended reading lists to help with social justice and community building.
Absolutely. That should honestly be like on an info page or something.
I mean,
our recommended reading list I absolutely love that.
I think we should do a recommended reading list and have stuff from each of us. And that way, if somebody wants,
Yes.
if somebody remembered that Ellie said something a week ago, whatever, and it was about a book, they can just go look at Ellie's recommendations, or just rattled off 76 books.
Okay.
Somebody
so-
can go look.
On my personal Beacons account that you can get to through my TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a tab at the top that says "Learn Shit," right at the very top.
Mm.
And
Of course, you have something called Learn Shit.
Of course, I do. If you scroll down
No,
a little
that's
bit on it, there's a link that says "Books to Read About Racism,"
Mm.
and it takes you to a link from Cheris Books and More, your independent feminist bookstore. Oh no, the link got taken down. Page not found. Rude. Okay, so now I have to create a new one because
Gosh.
that had some amazing recommendations for books to read about racism.
We'll have to do some digging.
I
I can also pull on my resource the avid reader that I know that would gladly within 2 seconds probably already has a list already ready to share.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean, to be
absolutely.
fair, most of mine would be more on the fantasy and etc. genre, but I'm still going to recommend some good books to read.
I have.
There is
I don't have
one.
Goodreads on my phone. I have a huge list. Well, not a huge list. I have a list on Goodreads that I have broken down from Black authors in particular.
Mm.
So that way I make sure that I'm diversifying my reading.
Right.
So I'm not reading specifically white authors all the time. So, and that's helped open my eyes to some really good books over the years too.
I also have a lot of books on business, like the
Okay,
7
okay,
habits,
okay.
the 7 habits of highly effective people.
I have trauma about that.
Oh God,
Oh,
we're back
boy.
at it.
Okay,
Yep.
so my mom never had time to read. So this is back in like the late 80s when that book first came out, or the early 90s. And she got the entire cassette package. Okay. So when we're driving in the car somewhere, she has that fucking thing in the car listening to it
Oh my God,
the entire time.
Okay,
And
I can
just-
understand how you're triggered.
it clicks now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're listening to this as like a 12-year-old, okay? And you're coming to the realization that you're not a successful person.
Oh God, at 12. Oh,
Oh yeah.
So you're just like, oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And so whenever that's brought up as something I need to read or listen to or try and get into,
Nope, I will not tell you.
I just freeze. I just freeze and just like, no.
Do you have a bad experience with Dale Carnegie's The Art of Public Speaking?
I've heard about that book.
Dale Carnegie's The Art of Public Speaking.
I've heard that that's a
No, I
really
have
good
not.
book.
It is.
Okay. I found my list of books to share. So I'm going to go ahead and share it here.
Whoop, whoop. One that was recommended to me, and I have read through it a little bit, but not completely.
Okay.
This was recommended to me by an old professor when I actually was looking at going into social work. 365 days with self-discipline. It's different thoughts, different things to try, etc. And it's literally one for every day of the year. And while I don't think that it is a go-to for everyone, right. I do think that everyone would get something from it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
yes, that absolutely makes sense. It really does. I'm not big into the self-help stuff.
I don't like self-help. However, this one, the reason that my old prof recommended it was because there were a few people in her therapy practice that actually were bringing that to the group therapy, and they were discussing it. And she's like, you know, if people are in therapy are talking about this and using it, might be something at least worthwhile checking out. And like I said, it's like, how does it word it? It says 365 life-altering thoughts on self-control, mental resilience, and success. And so, like, some of the thing, like, it's been a hot minute since I read it, but I think that with some of the different thoughts that are in there, it's not necessarily going to work for everyone, and it's not going to be a self-help, but it may help you go, okay, I'm close, but that makes sense. Let's, you know, and so I think for some people, it's not that it's necessarily a self-help. It's okay, we're on the right path. We need to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, let's pivot because we've been like really fucking serious in this episode. Like more so than we probably should have been.
Probably.
Just a little bit.
Oh.
So earlier this week we were talking about the ridiculousness of my cats and how fucking funny they are and how Severus likes to interject and everything, and Willow you guys don't see very often, so we're gonna have a little
That's a pose for me. That's what that looks like.
Paints me like one of your French girls.
Right.
Yes. So this is Willow.
That's funny.
Oh.
She's funny. She only talks when it's time to eat. The rest of the time she doesn't really talk. She doesn't meow. Or if she does try to meow, she sounds like a 30-year-old smoker. Like she's been smoking for 30 years. It comes out as meow.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The rest of the time though, she chirps a little bit. It's like she does the chirp thing. She doesn't actually meow. And the funny thing is when we adopted her from the cat cafe that we got her from, her original name was Chirp.
That's funny.
Okay, that's cute.
And I'm kicking myself that we just didn't keep it because she didn't chirp for like the first month or two that we had her.
Mm-hmm.
And then once she got comfortable, she was chirping all the time.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
She's absolutely adorable. I love her to death. She's annoying as fuck. She has
I have three of those.
Goopy eye. That constantly goopy because she got the eye herpes things that cats get. And she gets constant upper respiratory infections because of it. But she sneezes all the time.
Poor baby.
And she does it specifically when she jumps up on my desk and is right next to me so she can sneeze and snot all over me. And this happens when I'm in bed too. She'll hop up in bed, start snuffling around me like she's sniffing, right? And then immediately a snot ball right in my forehead.
Oh
It is so gross. It is so gross. I just
We love our cats. We love our cats. We love our cats.
Mm-hmm. We love our cats, but oh my god, I could never do a slobbery dog either. I can't do.
My dog was not slobbery. He definitely wasn't. When I had him, I miss having a dog. I really do. My dog, he had one blue eye and one brown eye.
Oh,
Cutest fucking dog. He loved his favorite hobby was looking out the window. He would sit there and he would just wait. And then I would sit down with him and then we would do this thing. Be like, who's there? What's going on? What's that? What's going on? What's over here? And then I'd growl with him.
Okay, that I totally believe. Just so
his
clear.
Favorite thing he would go ape shit about playing hide and seek with my son. So at my last apartment, so my apartment style is it's a shotgun style, so it's like one room pursuing another and pursuing another one. Mm-hmm. The first and second room had one of those pocket doors. So I would close the pocket door. I would have my son go hide somewhere in the house, and it's a small house. There's not a lot, you know. So I said, all right, go hide. And then once I closed that door, the moment I start counting, he would just lose it. He'd be like, I need to get out. And he'd be like, Connor, you got to sit down. You got to sit down. And he'd be like, scratch out the door, jump in. And he would go wherever he was. And he would sniff and he would look at me and be like, I found him. Like, he would have been a good, like, what are those dogs called that go find people? Like, he would have been really good at that.
Search and rescue dog.
Yes, because he's like, my son would fucking hide in a cabinet. And he would go, Connor would go in all the usual places, and then he'll start going hardcore. He's like, I'm like, where's Alex, Connor? Where is he? Where is he? And he would go, and then he'd go right to the cabinet. He's like, he's here. He's right here. Adorablest thing ever.
Okay.
Cats can't do that. Cats can't do that. Sorry.
I'm going to share one.
I totally forgot to do our mid-session stuff with production. So if you see the bottom screen, if you want to submit something funny for us to share on the stream, go ahead and email request at ramblingsofthemad.com with your story, pictures, whatever you want us to share. And if you don't want to miss our next episode, head over to our website, ramblingsofthemad.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And I should have said all of this,
because we're trying to do the whole capitalism thing and we need some money.
Yeah, we got to survive capitalism, and to do that, we have to participate in it.
Gotta participate. It fucking sucks. I hate doing this shit, but
I don't want to participate in it.
I am sharing my screen for a moment.
Oh, you're sharing your screen? Okay.
I'm gonna show you cute. Look at that face.
Oh,
it is cute. Cuteness.
Look at that face.
Severus.
That is my moon baby. My little shit.
So cute.
Yeah, of course she looks cute because she's sleeping.
Yeah, that's usually the only time that they're cute is when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That one's absolutely my baby. She will fight tooth and nail with the other two cats to get to me before they can, so that she can claim the bed. Yeah. Like, she will 5-star frog splash. Like, both arms will be out, one leg will be up in the air. And then she'll do that until they go away. And then she curls up into this cute little ball.
Severus will get up on the bed. Like, we have a window right behind the head of our bed. And the cats like to lay there so they can see out into the garden and all of that. So if Willow gets to the window first, Severus will walk up to her and start grooming her. And then maybe a minute into the grooming, he'll attack her every single time.
That's funny.
And then he makes her cry and she gets up and walks away.
We've got two other cats. we have Callie, who is a fat, angry loaf. I refer to her as Cinnamon, not the spice, more like CYNNAMIN, like bad stripper.
Oh, like a stripper. Okay.
Yeah, because she'll rub up on anything.
Mm.
And then we
Well,
have
then.
Miss. We call her an attention whore for a reason. I'm just saying. And then we have Mystic, who is our needy little princess.
Mhm.
And first of all, Moon established dominance quickly because she will teabag the other two, and she is a she.
Hmm.
I don't know what she thinks. Like, I don't know what she
funny.
thinks she's gonna do, but okay, whatever. And then Callie and Mystic will start to fight, but we call it the Mexican standoff because you will have them about maybe a foot apart, maybe, and then they go. And it's usually Callie is on the ground, like laying down, and Mystic is above her. And Callie will stick one foot out like, against Mystic's face. Like, no. And then what inevitably my daughter will be like, don't take that shit. Don't take that shit from her. Get her. So what does Mystic do? She will jump up like she's gonna pounce, right? And lands right back where she was. So scary. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Cats.
Okay. Callie has this thing for ice cubes now. Because like when we were having that heat wave, she has really, really thick fur. Like if we don't brush her on the regular, her fur will get matted up because of all the fur that she sheds. Mm-hmm. So since I know she gets so hot, the air AC was struggling, region wide. And so I'm like, I'm just going to give her some ice cubes. That'll help keep her cool, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that was a mistake. Because now anytime anybody goes towards the freezer, meow, meow, meow.
That's funny.
And my daughter, being the special little dumbass that she is, I say that to her face just so we're clear. Say this lovingly. She will stand there and argue with Callie and say, meow, meow, right back.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
I don't even have to, I don't need to go anywhere or do anything. All I got to do is wake up and I hear this shit in my house and it's entertainment.
Well, I think this is a good spot for us to stop because we're getting close to the 3-hour mark for us.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Pretty.
Yeah, we ranted quite a bit for this episode. So, yeah, next week we're doing Mad Hatters of the World. Is that right?
I think.
You think?
I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. Yeah, get back to me on that one. If not, we'll just do another Ramblings of the Mad.
It's fine.
Because, that's what we're fucking good at.
A fucking man, yes.
All right. So
thanks,
let's call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your favorite sleepy Goblin King, still live from someone's basement. Do you like the show? Go ahead and give us a follow or subscribe. We're literally everywhere. You listen to podcasts, Spotify, Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch. Especially give us a follow on Twitch if you want to see this show happen live. If you got any requests, hit up our emails. All right? We think saying that we're doing this, we really appreciate every single listen that you guys are giving us, and we hope you had a great evening. Go ahead and have a great rest of your night, and catch some Z's, bruh.